What's going on, my Lightning Ones? This is your boy Mash the MC back again. And today we have a special topic. Today we're talking about Yamato, Kaido, and Oden's logbook. The guys didn't know in the last chapter when Momo started to hear things in his head, which we will speculate who it may be. I think it's probably Onigashima floating, but it could be amongst other people. It could be Luffy, it could be Joy Boy's spirit, it could be Zunisha, but I think it's probably going to be something that Momo already knows. Even though he said, who is it? I feel like regardless, it's going to end up being that something that Momo has already encountered. Because I feel like that would be the only way for them to actually know that Momo has the voice of all things. Because it's almost like they're talking directly to him. And like whereas Zunisha, it was more he heard someone, but this time I feel like it's more directed as in someone actually talking to him. But when he started to hear someone, he dropped the book. He dropped Oden's logbook, and we're not sure if Kaido has already read the logbook. That's why he said, "You are not Joy Boy to Luffy." But besides that, I feel that if Kaido actually gets his hands on the book, he will realize why he can't take down Momo if he hasn't read it already. I feel like he hasn't read it because if he did read it, he would realize the importance of having Momo alive and not kill him. So, the importance of Yamato, Kaido. We don't know their backstory yet. Like Kaido is such a layered villain because everyone's just thinking that he's like this big bad, like he just wants war, he just wants to kill the Straw Hats, he just wants to keep, he wants to bolster his army with devil fruits. But no, Kaido's a more layered character from the moment we met him. With him wanting to commit suicide, it added so much depth to his character right from the jump. Maybe because people just thought about it as, oh, he's a big bad. He's his devil fruit makes him intangible, makes him impervious to dying. But I don't think that's the case. I feel like Kaido is looking for a way to leave his legacy stamped on the One Piece verse or on his story completely. And in doing so, him dying will forever like leave him his name in the rafters, just like how Oden and Roger did. He said he said himself. He stated that they do it right. They were the pirates who did it right, Roger and Whitebeard. So he looked up to them, or he admired their not their sacrifice, but admired how they went out and how they went about things to the last dying breath. So Kaido looking for his way to die is the start stepping stone of his character overall. And now we see him fighting Luffy and how he smiles and how he says, "The more you smile, the dot dot dot." And then now we add an extra layer. It's like it looks like you couldn't be Joy Boy either. What was it, Gomu Gomu again? That was actually pretty hilarious. He's basically mocking Luffy. But now we have Yamato. I predicted after seeing the last cover page, it said Hunter on this shirt. So I predicted that Sanji's probably going to get his like shine in the next chapter, but then also see a tiger in the background. Everyone's been speculating that Yamato is actually a tiger. I get that. So I think the next chapter is actually going to involve Yamato in some way, shape, or form. We don't know how, but I think if Yamato knows that Kaido is going after Momo, Yamato may just backtrack to Kaido. And that would make the most sense because if Yamato backtracks towards Kaido, he could probably see the book is on the ground and protect the book because that book has a lot of information that we don't know. It could actually even have the whereabouts of the One Piece, the whereabouts of the ancient weapons, the whereabouts of the significance of Momo. There's so many speculations about what the book actually entails. But after Momo reading the book and saying that it looks like I can't die, that only confirms two things. Momo has to be an endgame character, and whatever's in that book is of high importance why Momo can't die because he needs to get that knowledge out. Yes, Yamato read the book too, but Yamato didn't have any reaction to saying that, oh, Momo, you can't die. Well, obviously, Yamato didn't want Momo to die regardless because Yamato's Oden, but even more so that he knows what's in the book, so he knows that Momo can't die. So let's talk about Kaido more. The reason why the book would help Kaido in the long run is because not only would it tell him more about Joy Boy and the One Piece, but right now the Big Mom and Beast Pirates Alliance, he's going after the ancient weapons. And if the book actually says what the ancient weapon is, that helps Kaido immensely because maybe he might not even need Big Mom anymore. If he knows where the ancient weapons are, if he knows what they are, his alliance with Big Mom is more or less just it's up for debate because Kaido's already talking about how pirates he was always smiling about how pirates always betray other pirates. So if he gets the information, he doesn't need Big Mom's influence or power because he knows where everything is. He already has everything he needs. And he has a mobile ship in Onigashima. He's literally a dragon. Land, sea, or air always bet on kind of 1v1. And then he would also be able to bolster his army a little bit more because if he defeats the raid and say he doesn't kill everyone, if he defeats everyone, maybe they might not actually defer to Kaido, but at the same time he has those pirates on his ship, Onigashima. And literally, if if they're sent to go, like, say the Marines show up and he has to fight the Marines, he can literally send out the pirates like, "Yo, you guys are pirates, right? Go fight the Marines." He's like, "No, we're not gonna fight the Marines." All right, then it's death. Like, not him killing them, but sending him to the Marines to fight. Regardless if it's Zoro or Sanji, they may not fight for Kaido, but they'll fight for their lives to not die themselves. Obviously, Luffy's not dead. We don't know how he's going to be saved, but at the same time, I do think that he will be saved out of the next couple chapters. And then he'll have his rest period, or like not really his rest period, but more of his thinking period, where he actually sits down and digests everything that already happened to him with Kaido. So I think Yamato's role in the story, being Oden, is going to play a big factor in actually leading forward into the Kaido backstory. And one thing I realized about Kaido is after him saying that looks like you're not Joe Boy either, and then he can't die. I put those two things together, and then we also add or incorporate the ancient giant race. Kaido is probably a descendant of the ancient giant race. That's also, it was made more evident when a couple chapters ago when he said it looks like humans tend to cling onto faith, and he was talking about humans as in like a in a third person perspective or like a outer perspective, saying that humans. He's talking down to humans, so maybe he's a half human or an ancient giant, one of the two. So I think that he's actually cursed in some way, shape, or form. Kaido's cursed as in to not die until he fulfills something he needs to do. And then him saying you're not Joy Boy either made me think that the thing he needed to do has a lot to do with Joy Boy. And you already know Wano was close to the word because of the Kozuki clan, right? We also know that Joy Boy has something to do with the Kozuki clan because a lot of the messages on the Poneglyphs were actually written or told to Joy Boy to write. So if Kaido is cursed, just like the ancient giants were, to either defend Wano or bring about opening Wano's borders whenever it's time, I feel like that's the reason why he can't die. And then actually we find out more about why Yamato is so, why Yamato can actually propel the story into the fact that we actually learn more about Kaido and learn more about his backstory. So also when you think about the continent pullers, and then uh damn, Mooria's giant. I forgot the name of the Mooria's giant right now. I don't know why I can't think of it. But like we think about the ancient giants and the continent pullers pulling Wano together. I feel like the giants have a big giants have a story tied to Wano in some one way, shape, or form. And then you also think about Imsama and the hat that was in the depths of the prison. I think that has to do with the Joe Boy as well. Because remember, the straw hat is actually a giant straw hat. It's not a normal size straw hat. It is the size of a giant. Maybe not an ancient giant. Maybe it's not like as big as like the continent puller itself, but maybe it's as big as Kaido. Who knows? Or maybe Whitebeard. Man, actually, it looks actually it definitely is bigger than Kaido and Whitebeard. Yeah, it definitely is. I don't know why I can't think of the giant's name right now. It eludes me. Um. I'm gonna look it up. Chat. Whenever in doubt, look it up. Let's go. Let's go. Oars. Why can I think of oars? I don't know. Anyway, let's move. But yes, a giant size of oars or maybe even bigger. So Yamato is going to trigger that flashback. So I can't wait for the interaction between Kaido and Yamato because I feel like we're going to get so much more of Kaido's character, and it may even layer onto a lot more things besides just Kaido being this big bad, the one who's defeated Luffy twice so far, and maybe going to defeat him a third time. Who knows? So what about Yamato? Well, Yamato knows a lot from reading Oden's logbook, and it's speculated that Yamato is a white tiger. Everyone knows the myth or like the folklore about the tiger and the dragon. It's like been talked about probably by every single YouTuber out there. But let's add a little bit more depth to it, right? Say Yamato is Kaido's child. Yamato is Kaido's son, right? If Yamato is Kaido's son, right? Isn't it possible that Yamato may have just gotten more genes from Kaido himself? Like Yamato's not really a mythical tiger. It's just that Yamato has the inherited beast genes or like ancient giant genes or the dragon genes from Yamato. Because when you think about it, yes, we know that the soul fruit or like other fruits the powers can't be passed down through generations. But in Kaido's case, he's an ancient giant as well as the dragon fruit. And I think those two going together may have the catalyst of Yamato becoming something else, or like an X Factor, or maybe like an ancient dragon or Wiren. Who knows? Like it could be a plethora of other things, but I don't think Yamato just being a tiger. I mean, it fits the story, but at the same time, I feel like there's more to it than just that. As when you think about Momo and Kaido's dragon fruit, I mean Kaido's Suedo devil fruit, it makes you think, okay, does the fruit itself just give him the transformation of a dragon, or does it give him other powers as well? Because as you know, Kaido does have the voice of all things. When him and Big Mom combined attack and shout out the supernovas, Kaido was able to hear the voices, and Big Mom wasn't. he said, I still hear their voices. It's like, and Big Mom's like, oh, some of them survived that. So it shows that Big Mom doesn't have the voice of all things, while Kaido does. Maybe the fruit itself gave Momo the access to that power to be able to have the voice of all things. Or maybe Oden has it, so maybe he got it from passed down from his father. But you got to remember, Toki also came from the Void Century, and maybe the fact that Momo was actually able to communicate with others has to do with the fact that he got the bloodline from something from the Void Century, and like how the voice of all things may have been passed down, but the actual use of it hasn't been passed down because the Void Century is so closed off. We don't really know the information, and that's why Toki is such a key component in actually how Momo is going to develop, because her being from the Void Century actually does make his bloodline almost even more pure to an extent. That's why Momo was actually able to communicate with Zunisha and everyone else isn't. Oden was able to hear the Sea Kings, but he's not able to communicate with the Sea Kings. Luffy's able to hear Zunisha, but not actually able to communicate with Zunisha. But maybe Luffy's actually able to communicate to people. Maybe Luffy's actually able to communicate with other people with the voice of all things. Maybe not like he can hear things from the other he can hear with the voice of all things, but he isn't able to communicate with other people. Well, he can hear things with the voice of all things, but he's actually able to communicate with other people who are the voice of all things. So say like Oden had it, and he could probably communicate with Oden. If Roger had it, he could probably communicate with Roger. So maybe he's able to communicate with Momo. Who knows? So with all that being said, the book is going to play a big factor in the next couple of chapters, because maybe Yamato gets there and defends the book, or sees the book on the ground and tries to burn it or get rid of it or hide it, and Kaido realizes that and it's like, what is that? And he realizes it's Oden's logbook, and that inevitably helps or makes him want to defeat Yamato. He defeats Yamato, gets the book, and then gains the information that he needs. So then the alliance itself, the lines between him and Big Mom are just cut off, and that will lead into the betrayal that everyone's like been alluding between them and the Big Mom pirates. But we already had a sneak peek of him eliminating the betrayal of the Big Mom pirates and Beast pirates, with Big Mom attacking Page One and Ulti because of the whole thing with Otama. And maybe Kaido finds out about that after gaining information about of the ancient weapons, and then not only does Onigashima become an all-out war, it just becomes a complete brawl, like a battle royale, every man for themselves. Big Mom fighting the Straw Hats fighting Big Mom and the Big Mom pirates and the Beast pirates, Beast pirates fighting the Big Mom pirates, because the Big Mom pirates are going to be introduced in the story again, and I think it's going to inevitably be that the Onigashima continues to travel over Wano without being dropped and lands at the waterfall where the Big Mom pirates can get more involved, and that's when Paraspora and Big Mom tell them, yo, I did say there's going to be alliance, tell Katakuri to come, because it's not an alliance, every man for themselves, and whoever wins will end up being, or taking that extra step towards being the king of the pirates. And that's actually going to help my theory a little bit more, because Kaido said whoever wins this war, they take the next step into becoming the king of the pirates. And because Big Mom is there, I don't think it can just be left alone that it's just the king of the pirates. It would be kings of the pirates, because it'd be Big Mom and Kaido, and they fight at the end. But that statement alone help me come up with this thought that it's not just it's not just going to be as simple as everyone thinks it is, and Big Mom and Kaido are going to go out and try to rule the world. They're probably going to split up in some way, shape, or form. The pirate alliance is going to break down, and they're literally going to have a free for all. So that's just my initial thoughts on Yamato, Kaido, and the book, because the book, a lot of people are missing it, but the book falling on the ground actually going to play a big factor in what's going to happen moving forward. But that's what all I got for today, guys. Leave a comment down below on what you guys think. Like I said at the end of every single video, leave a like, hit that subscribe button and the bell button, and come back next time to remain enlightened, y'all. Peace.